Students, in this particular video session, we will be learning introduction regarding circular motion and the terms related to circular motion. I'll be introducing what is meant by circular motion and what is the difference of circular motion from other types of motion. Motion can be categorized into different types. As shown in this slide, motion can be periodic in nature, motion can be rectilinear, motion can be curvilinear, motion can be translatory, motion can be circulatory, and motion can be oscillatory. Different types of motion. You can classify motion into different types based on the type of motion, body, how it is behaving during its motion. Based on that, you can classify motion into different types. So let us start from translatory motion. Now this is translatory motion. Like for example, a person is traveling in a straight line. A person is traveling in a straight line. Like in the running race, generally all the people are allowed to run in a straight line path. So translatory motion is simply straight line motion which is in one dimension. It can be one dimension or it can be in two dimension. Translatory motion in the motion which is in the straight line path is treated as translatory. Now coming to curvilinear motion, curvilinear curve in the sense the path of the body will be in the form of a curve. Like for example, you are taking this ball. This is a ball. This ball is being thrown by the person. It does not travel in the straight line path. It take curved path. It take curved path. So it is not linear. Linear in the sense it should be a straight line, but it is not linear. It is curvilinear. Curvilinear in the sense it is in the form of a curved line. Such type of motion is said to be curvilinear path. And next is rectilinear motion. Rectilinear motion in the sense rectilinear mean straight line motion. So rectilinear motion and translatory motion are quite different. Generally, light travel in rectilinear path. Only light travel in rectilinear path, and the motion which we are generally observing in our daily life, that will be a translatory motion. Of course, we will distinguish translatory motion with other motion in next coming chapter. And the other type of motion is periodic. Periodic in the sense if the motion is repeated within equal intervals of time. Such type of motion is said to be periodic motion. Say for example, you have Earth. Earth revolves around the sun. Earth revolves around the sun for every 365 days. So it is a periodic motion. Earth is revolving around the sun. For one revolution, it takes 365 days. We generally call it as 1 year. So for every 1 year, Earth will be completing one revolution around the sun. So if the motion is repeated within equal intervals of time, such motion is said to be periodic motion. And other type of motion is oscillatory motion. Oscillatory motion is to and fro. Oscillatory motion is to and fro or back and forth. Oscillatory motion is to and fro or back and forth. That means here in case of a pendulum clock, this pendulum clock will be raised up and by itself it comes down and then it goes back here and by itself again it come back to this mean position. So this is to and fro motion which is repeated in equal intervals of time. Such type of motion is said to be as oscillatory motion. This is oscillatory motion. And the other type of motion is circulatory motion. Circular motion is what which we are going to discuss in this chapter. About circular motion, we will be learning hereafter. And translatory, curvilinear, periodic, oscillatory, these all are different types of motion which we will be coming in next coming chapters, which we will be learning in next coming chapters. About all these different types of motion, we will be discussing in mechanics in class 11th syllabus. Oscillatory motion you will learn in separate chapter named oscillations. And in oscillations chapter, we will categorize periodic and as well as oscillatory motions. And in rotational motion, we will be learning what is meant by translatory, what is meant by curvilinear, what is meant by rectilinear. We will be discussing about these three different types of motion in rotational motion. That is in next coming chapter. So in this chapter, we are only restricted ourselves to learn only about circular motion. Now let us see different types of motion with some examples. This is number one. See here, a string is tightened in between two walls. This is wall and this is the other wall, and you are taking a string and you are plucking the string and you leave. You just pluck the string and leave. So when you pluck this string, the string will be vibrated. It goes up and it comes down. This kind of motion is said to be vibratory motion. The particles of body will be, the particles of this string will be vibrated. Such type of motion is vibratory motion. And next type of motion which we have is linear motion. Linear motion in the sense like this is a block. A block is pushed by the person and this block moves in straight line path. Such type of motion is said to be linear motion, which we generally come across in our daily life. That is linear motion. Next, curvilinear motion. Linear motion is also called translatory motion. Linear motion is also called translatory motion. Don't get confused with that. Curvilinear motion is like you are kicking a football or you are throwing a volleyball. Like the ball will be moving in the form of a curved path. Such type of motion is curvilinear. Next is oscillatory motion, where the pendulum. Example of oscillatory motion is pendulum clock. So this will be moving to and fro or back and forth. Circular motion is a satellite revolving around the planet or a planet revolving around the sun. Such type of motion is said to be circular motion. And next one is rotatory motion. A fan being in its own position, it rotates in its own position. That kind of motion is rotational motion. These are the different types of motion which we have. They are vibratory. Number two, translatory. Translatory motion is also said to be as linear motion. And the third is curvilinear. Number four is oscillatory. Number five is circular motion. Number six is rotational motion. Of course, periodic motion is the part of vibratory motion. So periodic motion, we will not consider it as separate chapter. Periodic motion is the part of vibratory and as well as oscillatory motion. These are the different types of motion which we generally learn in class 11 syllabus. We will be learning about circular motion in this part. In this video session, I will be teaching you what is circular motion. Circular motion is categorized into different types. Number one, it is uniform circular motion. Number two, non-uniform circular motion. In uniform circular motion, tangential acceleration is equal to 0, and in non-uniform motion, tangential acceleration is not equal to 0. So it is just a classification. I'll be telling you what is meant by circular motion, what is translatory acceleration, what is tangential acceleration, what is centripetal acceleration, all those we will be learning in detail in next coming slides. But for time being, you just learn what are the classifications of circular motion. Circular motion can be uniform circular motion or non-uniform circular motion. In uniform circular motion, again we have two different types. One is horizontal circular motion, other one is vertical circular motion. Horizontal circular motion will be like this, which is in the horizontal. Vertical circular motion will be motion like circular path, which is in the vertical path. If the body is moving in the circular path like this, it is said to be as vertical circular motion. If the body is moving in the horizontal circular path, this is said to be horizontal. So in uniform circular motion, it can be either horizontal uniform circular motion or vertical uniform circular motion. Again, in non-uniform circular motion also, we have two categories. One is horizontal circular motion and the other one is vertical circular motion. So if you are able to categorize what is uniform circular motion and what is horizontal, what is the difference between horizontal circular motion and vertical circular motion, that will be very clear in learning circular path or circular motion. Now let me introduce how is circular motion different than that of other types of motion. How is circular motion different than that of other types of motion? We will be learning now. So from here, pay attention. This is very important concept. How to categorize circular motion with other different types of motion, we will be learning now. Let me take, this is the axis, coordinate axis. It is x-axis, positive, and this is minus x. It is plus y, and this is minus y. Let me consider an object which is starting from position A. This is A. From this position, like if at all body is moving in the straight line path, like it should be either purely moving along x-axis or moving along y-axis. In straight line path, in straight line, magnitude of velocity may change, but direction of velocity does not change. Remember this point. In straight line motion, like if at all body is moving in the straight line path, either body can be moving in different paths. So see here, this is velocity v1, it is only in one particular direction. This is velocity v2, it is only in one particular direction. This is velocity v3, it is only in one particular direction. These velocities, like their magnitude may undergo change, but their direction is remained same in case of straight line path. Now I am coming to this position where body is starting at A. If I consider the particle starting at A, if its direction is not being changed, this is V initial direction is along plus y, positive y direction. The velocity of this body starting at position A, it is in positive y axis. Now what actually happens if this particle A is going in this direction like this? It is traveling from B, C and D. This particle A, it is going to B, and from B it is traveling to C, and from C it is traveling to D. If you observe carefully, the directions of velocities changed continuously with respect to time. At B, the direction of velocity is like this, and at C, the direction of velocity is like this. At D, the direction of velocity is like this, and this is what v final, it is along negative x-axis, so that I can write it as minus I cap, and vi, this is positive j cap. So what is your observation? When the object is moving from A to D, the direction of velocity is continuously changing, even though the magnitude may be remained same. So point number 1 which you need to learn here is, when body travel from path A, B, C, D, in this path when the body is traveling, magnitude of velocity may remain same. Magnitude of velocity may be constant, but the direction of velocity is changing. Direction of velocity is changing, that means delta V bar is equal to final velocity minus initial velocity. There is some change in velocity because the direction of velocity is undergoing change here. It means that velocity is changing. If velocity is changing, definitely there will be some acceleration. You need to remember that. This is point number 1 you need to remember. Next, point number 2. At any point, if you want to find out the direction of velocity, so in this path, in the path A, B, C, D, whenever you want to find direction of velocity, you will just draw the tangent at that position. Tangent drawn at a path, at a point in the path A, B, C, D gives direction of velocity. So when object is starting at position A, and if it is traveling from A to D, the magnitude of velocity is remained constant, but the direction of velocity is continuously changing. The direction of velocity at any point in this path can be obtained by just drawing a tangent at that position. So immediately, like here I have drawn a tangent, here I have drawn a tangent, this is a tangent, at this point I have drawn a tangent, at this point I have drawn a tangent, at this position I have drawn a tangent, at this position I have drawn a tangent. This is tangent. So tangent in that particular point, at that particular point, gives the direction of velocity. Initial direction is vi, that is vj, initial direction, which is represented along positive y-axis, and finally at position D, velocity is along I. Therefore I can simply write vi is equal to v j cap, v final is equal to minus v I cap. Change in velocity is equal to v final minus v initial. V final is minus v I cap minus v initial is v j cap. If I take it v minus v common, this gives you I cap plus j cap is a change in velocity. And change in velocity delta v is not equal to 0. Remember this point. So whenever the body is moving in such type of curved path, this is part of circular motion become curvilinear. Here we are not considering complete circle. We are just taking the path like a part of the circle which is said to be as curve. This is curved motion. So from A to D, one curved motion. D to E, there is another curved motion. And again from here to here, there is one curved motion. Here to here, there is one curved motion. Such, if you add all those curves, you will be getting a circle. So curvilinear motion, in the sense, if the path is in the form of a curve, the direction of velocity is continuously changing with respect to time. We call it as curved motion. Such Such net curved motion, like if you add those all paths of curved motion, you will be getting a circle. Such motion is said to be a circular motion. That is what we are now able to define what is meant by circular motion. In case of a circular motion, the magnitude of velocity remains constant, but the direction of velocity continuously change with respect to time. Such type of motion is said to be uniform circular motion. If velocity magnitude is changing and direction is changing, then it is said to be as non-uniform circular motion. That is the difference between uniform circular motion and non-uniform circular motion. In uniform circular motion, both magnitude, like in uniform circular motion, magnitude remain constant, direction change. But in non-uniform circular motion, both change, direction change, and as well as magnitude also changes. That's the difference between uniform and non-uniform circular motion. So let me explain the details about circular motion. See, this is x-axis. This is y-axis, right? It is positive x-axis. It is negative x-axis. It is positive y-axis. And this is negative y-axis. At any particular point, if you want to find out velocity of the object, what you will do? Simply you will be drawing a tangent at that position. So I want to find out velocity at this position. What you will do? Simply I'll draw a tangent like this. I want to find out velocity at a point here. Simply I'll draw a tangent like this. Velocity at this point, if I want to find, I'll draw a tangent like this. Velocity at this point, I want to find out, I'll draw a tangent like this. So velocity is continuously changing with respect to time. The magnitude may be remained same, but the direction is continuously altered in case of circular motion. So I can write here delta V is equal to V final minus V initial. Delta V is equal to, I can write final velocity like this is position A and this is position B. So velocity in this direction is V I j cap. Velocity at this position will be V minus I cap. So final velocity is minus V I cap. Initial velocity is j cap. This gives you minus V I cap plus j cap, which we already have learned, that is delta V. Change in velocity is not equal to 0. Delta V bar is not equal to 0. As we know, acceleration is equal to delta V divided by delta t. Delta V, if it is non-zero, then acceleration of the particle is also non-zero. Therefore, in circular motion, there comes an acceleration. In circular motion, there comes an acceleration which change only direction of velocity without changing any magnitude. Magnitude there is no change, but only direction is changing. Such magnitude direction of which change only direction of velocity, such acceleration is called centripetal acceleration. Such acceleration is called centripetal acceleration, and centripetal acceleration is just defined as V perpendicular whole square divided by R. This is equation for centripetal acceleration. So in circular motion, whenever we are dealing with circular motion, there will be one acceleration which is produced here, and that acceleration is called centripetal acceleration. And centripetal acceleration equation is AC, which is V perpendicular whole square divided by R, where V perpendicular is velocity perpendicular to radius, and r is equal to radius of circular path. So r is radius of the circle and v is velocity which is perpendicular to the radius, and centripetal acceleration is given by equation A, which is v square by r. That's about centripetal acceleration.